Welcome to the Daily Transfer Show. I'm your host Miles. I'm joined here by Golf's chief correspondent Peter Stornan. We're going to kick right off with a big talking point of the weekend, obviously, which is Alexis Sanchez's move to Manchester United. It's imminent now, isn't it? It's pretty much a done deal. We saw over the weekend it was a leaked image of Alexis Sanchez in a brand new Man United number 7
There it is.
shirt.
You can see it on your screen.
There you go. So yeah, Man United fans can get excited now, can't they? They've got Alexis Sanchez on the books.
Yeah, they've got a new number 7. It looks like based on that selfie.
It's a straight swap for Mkhitaryan.
Yeah, straight swap, great deal. I think it's a great deal for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arsenal winners getting a player like Mkhitaryan in for free. They didn't get any money for Sanchez, which I realised they want.
Well, they weren't going to get any money up for him in the summer either.
Yeah,
They
exactly,
managed to get Mkhitaryan in as well. So I think it's a good deal for all involved. I mean, Arsenal, you know, they want a replacement for Sanchez. I mean, Mkhitaryan is not like for like by any means, but they're going to get Aubameyang as well, it looks like.
Yeah.
And United, I went to see them against Burnley on Saturday, and I think they really do need another, you know, another level of aggression to their attacks.
Yeah.
And the way Mourinho likes to construct his attacks, there's no real choreography that goes on the same way that you get with Guardiola at Man City. It's up to players to win games on their own, whether that's on the counter-attack or through pace, or as Martial did, through a lovely piece of skill. A great finish on Saturday. And Sanchez is the type of player that can get himself out of a sticky situation with a quick dribble and finish near post, far post. So he'd be an ideal signing for Man United. And yeah, we're expecting that to be confirmed imminently in the next few hours.
By the time some of you might watch this on YouTube, it could even be confirmed. It's pretty much a done deal, as we've said.
And a player, let's be honest, you know, a player like Sanchez belongs at a club like Man United. I know for some reason this has been painted in some quarters as Sanchez choosing money over glory, but it can't be forgotten that this is Man United. You know, English record champions. You know, they've won the Champions League multiple times. They've got the biggest manager in the world. Paul Pogba, probably the best midfield player in the world. This is a huge club. You know, this isn't going to. It's not going to BSG. Put it that way. This is Man United, and it really shows that they're serious about catching Man City. Maybe not this season, but Sanchez and more signings in the summer, and they should definitely be able to close the gap over the next couple of seasons.
I saw former Liverpool midfielder winger Stephen Manaman talking over the weekend about essentially all this talk about Alexis Sanchez being a mercenary. They're missing the point, really. You know, he could have gone for the easy option of Man City. He could have gone slotted into a team which is top of the league, high flying. He would have been on the same amount of money. Let's not kid ourselves.
And they'll hand him the medal when he walks in the door as well. Yeah.
Whereas this is actually a much harder job, like going to Man United team which isn't looking as good as Man City. He does have a challenge on his hands. They're not going to win the league this year. It's not exactly like going for the easy option,
anybody like a Sanchez or a Pogba or a Lukaku, any of those top level players who are going to Man United at the moment, they're going to get their hands dirty because it's not the club isn't ready made for success at the moment. I know they won the Europa League and the the League Cup last season, but you know, I couldn't even remember which cup they won. That's how much it means, you know. But you know,
not what they want, is it? They want the Champions League.
They're not fully equipped. It's not like back in the day when, you know, they'd win the league and then Ferguson would buy Varane just to go on top of it, or Rio Ferdinand just to go on top of it. You know, it's like they're needing to buy players now to build a club again and to build a winning team, and that's hard enough in the Premier League. You know, where it's so competitive at the top end. But then you throw in the Guardiola factor at Man City too, and you've got a team who's 12 points clear as well. You know, it's not an easy job. So, you know, credit goes to Sanchez for taking on this challenge, and for the likes of Pogba, you know, to go there and try and make a success out of post-Ferguson Man United.
So obviously Alexis is the big talking point of this deal. He's going to be the best paid player in Premier League history by the sounds of it. But Mkhitaryan as well, I mean, that's a bit of a Cooper at Arsenal. I mean, how do you see him fitting in to that Arsenal attack?
It's a difficult one. Arsenal were brilliant on Saturday going forward, and central to that was Mesut Ozil. You know, for me, he's, you know, the most talented playmaker in the Premier League, and anything that could keep him in that central, influential role would be favourable. There's always the option. I always thought Mkhitaryan did better for Dortmund when he played almost as a second striker, like right in behind the front man, and it was usually Aubameyang. So he's the type of player that, you know, you would name him as a midfielder, but he doesn't play midfield. He's not an engine room midfielder or, you know, a number 8 like a Pogba. He plays right. He should be playing right up towards the striker. So maybe Arsenal could make a position for him there, because he doesn't have the pace to play on the right wing. Mourinho tried him there, but he doesn't have the pace or the diligence to come back the other way. He's a finisher, and he's a through ball merchant. You know, he likes to play little passes in and around the box and get on the end of things himself. So that's where I see him doing his best work, is close to the box, and that might mean sacrificing somewhere else and going to a back three again if that's the case for Arsenal.
Yeah, you mentioned Aubameyang there, about Mkhitaryan playing some of his best football at Dortmund just behind Aubameyang, and of course our Arsenal correspondent Chris Wheatley had a line at the weekend that Arsenal bid €50 million for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Yeah, I mean, we know that the deal should be done for 60, and Dortmund, they're not the type of club to be shortchanged. They've been at the receiving end of these bargains, or these bargaining arrangements, for quite some time now. They know what they're doing in the transfer market. So if they say 60 and Wenger goes 50, let's stop the dance, and just get it over and done with. It's going to be 60 million. Get him in, and he's worth every penny. Aubameyang is world class.
You were saying the other day that you rate him over Alexis Sanchez.
Definitely, yeah. He's a much tidier footballer than Sanchez. Better technique. I think he's got better vision. He gets himself one-on-one so many times in games. The only thing that perhaps lets him down is, sometimes he misses the odd easy one here and there. But that's,
I think they all do. A lot of strikers.
Yeah, but he gets in behind so often. I think he's going to score a hatful for Arsenal. He's going to be a better player than Lacazette, better player than Sanchez. And Sven Mislintat, Arsenal's chief scout, he's coming up trumps.
He's doing really well. So I guess the first 10 days of the transfer window were defined by Coutinho's transfer saga. Second 10 days,
seems ages ago now.
I know, it really does. Second 10 days, Alexis Sanchez. Could the third 10 days be Aubameyang, or do you think Arsenal will just go, right, so here's the 60 million, let's just get this done?
Well, you would hope that's what
you would hope so, but it's Arsenal.
It's Arsene Wenger, sometimes the last 5 million is the most difficult 5 million for Wenger. But
21 goals in 23 games this season Aubameyang's got. He's clearly on form.
Yeah, and Dortmund now, they haven't been pulling up any trees in the Bundesliga this year. They did a 1-1 draw on Friday night as well against Hertha Berlin. Obviously Aubameyang wasn't there. He's playing five-a-side on Friday evening instead of going to the match.
Packed in his 11-side.
Instructively, he was playing with his mates in Dortmund, and he was wearing a Dortmund shirt as he was playing. He had Dembele's name on the back of the shirt.
Oh, really?
So read into that what you will.
Not so subtle hint.
Not so subtle hint about wanting away from the club. Dortmund have been through this already this season with Ousmane Dembele, who's gone on to Barcelona, obviously, and they're going to go through it again. They're going through it right now with Aubameyang, and their stance. They're trying to be strong in the stance, but it's going to end.
Seems inevitable now at this point. Doesn't it?
I just can't believe Arsenal have a free run at him.
It is impressive. No one else going in there for him.
If I were Florentino Perez, and looking at what's happening to, I know they got 7 at the weekend, but they've been way off. It might be just a shot in the arm that Real Madrid need, or even PSG. Why not? Neymar's been injured since he's come back from his.
Mbappe could be out for a little bit.
He was on that paradise island a long time over the Christmas period. Was Neymar? Maybe he hurt himself when he was sunbathing. Mbappe got battered. He was like. He was like mankind in Hell in a Cell. He was. Did you see his head was bleeding and then he got smashed in the ribs? It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. And so
even though the Premier League was like Chelsea, why wouldn't the Chelsea go for Aubameyang?
Maybe he's not tall enough.
Maybe not tall. He needs to be over that 6'1".
Yeah. It's like maybe they had a look at it. The police. He used to have to be a certain height for the police. Maybe that's it now.
That's the stance they've taken.
Yeah. So Chelsea are like, no, sorry, next. Anyway, I can't believe Arsenal are getting a free run. It's such a player like Aubameyang.
Yeah, you look at what their attack could be at the end of this window. Lacazette, Ozil, Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang. You've also got some decent players in midfield like Ramsey.
I'm not in love with Lacazette.
You're not in love with Lacazette? A lot of Arsenal fans like him. But still, as an option there, if Aubameyang is going to come in, that's a good second option.
It is, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. But how good was Ozil at the weekend? Did you see the Lacazette's goal at the weekend? Right. I mean, there were a lot of good goals. West Brom scored a brilliant goal as well. Was it Jay Rodriguez after the through ball from Krichovia?
Yeah.
Brilliant. But that goal from Lacazette, the little backheel from Mesut Ozil was absolutely stupendous.
It's tempting to say it's just Crystal Palace, but they've actually been much improved, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, yeah. And that's the thing, that's why the most important transfer business that Arsenal can conduct in the next 6 months is making sure that Ozil signs a new contract. Whether that's for 200, 250, 300, whatever. They need to keep him at the club because he's a genuinely world-class player and he will bring out the best in players like Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang as well. So, Arsene, I know that Arsene's a big fan of the show.
He's watching all the time, I hear you.
Yeah, he's watching it right now. So, Arsene, buddy, do yourself a favour and sign up Ozil.
Let us know in the comments section if you're Arsenal, if you're anyone else, if you think that Ozil needs to be tied down to a new deal, and we'll read out some of the best comments at the end of the show. Moving on to Man City, who felt like the bridesmaids of the January transfer window so far. They got so close to getting Alexis Sanchez, so close. They got swept out from under him.
They got played.
Tiny little violin.
They got played. They've got played in this.
Their agent came in and swooped away to their noisy neighbours.
But again, look, I don't want to come across as sour grapes in any way, shape or form, but Aguero's better than Sanchez as well.
Yeah, scored a hat-trick at the weekend.
Yeah, and maybe, look, Guardiola's been through this with some players before where he's, maybe had a look at them and thought, well, you don't fit, so he's just got rid. Well, maybe he's got no choice with Aguero, that he's just going to have to say, you know what, this is Aguero, this is my philosophy, and this is how we're going to have to crash the two together. Because Aguero, I mean, you look around the transfer market, you're not going to get many better players than Aguero.
Not without spending an astronomical amount of money.
But gets another hat-trick at the weekend. And I know he doesn't give Pep everything that he needs, but surely Pep's got to look at his output and go, okay, I'm getting enough from him.
Yeah. He hasn't been that great in recent weeks, has he? I mean, he's been hot and cold a bit at times. He hasn't been a star man in every single match.
No, he hasn't.
But I guess part of that is just the fact that he doesn't have the confidence.
He doesn't have the trust.
He knows that. Pep knows that. But yeah, as you say, he was brilliant at the weekend against Newcastle.
And for me, I think it would be negligent on Guardiola's behalf to throw away what he has with Aguero and then go for somebody like Sanchez, who he doesn't look. He didn't really like Sanchez as a player when he was at Barcelona. Yeah. He only started, I think, 20 matches for him in La Liga. And Sanchez couldn't really get on board with what Guardiola wanted from him.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. All of a sudden he thinks, oh, Alexis is a much better player than Aguero. He's not. He's not. Aguero is just is a special kind of player.
It does feel like he's kind of accepted that he's not going to find anyone, certainly in this transfer window, that he thinks will fit the system more than Aguero. Because the players that they've been linked with, our Man City correspondent Sam Lee has linked him with Johnny Evans, West Brom centre-back, obviously.
Yeah, coming in as cover, obviously, because Company can't stay fit.
Yeah, I mean, Mangala's a bit...
There's no doubt about who the top two centre-backs are at City. That's going to be Stones and Otamendi, and he's really improved Otamendi.
And Stones.
Yeah, well, obviously, I mean, Stones was always on the track to superstardom as soon as Roberto Martinez got hold of him, and there's been a great sort of crossover in the philosophies of those two Catalan managers, and it's put Stones on the right track right from the beginning of his career. He's never been afraid to play football. I think Martinez gave him that grounding, and Guardiola has obviously kicked him on to the next level, but he's really improved Otamendi. He's got a lot of the ricks out of his game, and he's distributing the ball a lot better, but they do need cover, because Company... I was at Newcastle, wasn't it, that he got injured?
Yeah.
He
gets injured every game. It's hard to keep track of when
it's so difficult for Company, and you wonder how long it can go on.
Yeah.
He gets back in the team, another 3 matches, and he's injured again. And coming to the business end of the season, they're going to need some cover. Does he trust Mangala to do the job? Yeah, maybe in the League Cup he does. But they're going to need somebody who's proven at this level. And Evans, he's by no means a world beater, but he's got plenty of top level experience. Playing for Man United, he knows how to play for teams who want possession of the ball. He wins his challenges and he can distribute the ball quite well. He's not going to start every game, but I think he would be a shrewd addition. Yeah, and
Fred, obviously Shakhtar midfielder.
Yeah, this is the type of player that Guardiola likes. Who's he's playing in that sort of Fernandinho role, but he's 10 years younger than Fernandinho.
Yeah. Sam was saying in his piece yesterday that Pep sees him as a successor to Fernandinho long term.
Yeah.
So it seems like he's...
I watched Fred close up for Shakhtar against Man City earlier on this season, and he uses the ball really well. He gets his head up, he's looking around all the time, and that's the type of player that Guardiola likes. So, it'd be an interesting signing if they could... I don't think they're going to get it done in January.
No.
But going forward, in the summer, City could be celebrating Johnny Evans' signing. They're not going to have I don't imagine it's not going to be like at the Bernabeu where they get him out doing kickoffs. Welcome.
Can you imagine? Oh my God, they should do that.
Yeah, but they'll be able to celebrate Johnny Evans in January, and then Fred, and then all these new contracts as well. Keep an eye on Sammy's Twitter page. He'll tell you everything you need to know about Man City's new contracts. He was bang on about Fernandinho. He's bang on about Kevin De Bruyne. That's going to happen this week. We think is
very soon. Yeah,
they're going to put the signature on that new contract. So keep an eye on. Keep an eye on what Sammy's doing. He's doing bits out there.
We're going to move on to Chelsea now, who I think it's fair to say of the top Premier League clubs have had a bit of a stinker of a transfer window, haven't they? Weird window. The latest player that they've been linked with is Burnley forward Ashley Barnes. He has 4 goals in 26 appearances so far this season.
Yeah.
But he's 6'1", and that is the key here, isn't it?
You can't teach that.
You cannot teach height. So it seems like Chelsea have just basically gone, right, we want a tall player, Crouch it doesn't seem like Crouch is
too tall, maybe.
Too tall, yeah.
He's not. We need
not
that
quite
sweet
right.
spot between sort of 6'1" and 6'4".
It's like Goldilocks and the three tall strikers, essentially. Crouch is too tall. Yeah. Powell's too injured. Barnes is just right.
Yeah, well, you know, I like Barnes, but not. I like Barnes, but I don't like him. Like I don't. It's not. It's Chelsea.
Burnley is one thing. You know, he's doing a good job in a team pushing for that.
But you know what? Crucially, he's not even first choice for Burnley because Chris Wood's been injured. So Barnes has been playing up front, and obviously he's preferred to Sam Vokes in that role. But you know, one thing that he does have in his favour, I'll give you this, is Barnes. He wins a lot of free kicks. You know, you get the ball into his feet, and defenders they do come in behind on him. He must have won 5 or 6 free kicks on Saturday,
which Howell was also good.
Yeah,
so clearly that's the quality they wanted.
That's it, and it gets the team. It gets the team further up the pitch, and also what Barnes has in his favour, he is an exceptional finisher, exceptional first time finisher. And the thing is, Burnley don't carve out many chances in a game, so there's every chance that if he goes to a better club where he gets better service, you know, if he gets Willian and Hazard and guys like that supplying him, then that finishing attribute that he has could be utilised in a better way. Because I know people will laugh at the fact that, I can't believe they're going after Burnley's striker. But this guy can finish. Yeah. He can hold the ball up and he can bring other people into play and he can get the team further up the field. So I can see the attraction of going for a player like Barnes. And I know it sounds strange for a club like Chelsea to be in this situation where they're chasing Burnley's striker, let's be honest. You know, you'd wonder what's happened to the scouting system if this is the best that they can come up with, the most imaginative solution they can come up with. But, you know, we know they've got a few irons in the fire. Mkhi, who's the sporting director at Roma, was questioned about Edin Dzeko yesterday, and it wasn't he's definitely not going. That wasn't the response that came out. He said that if Dzeko goes, we'd always replace him. Yeah. It kind of shows you what kind of club Roma are. You know, they love selling players. They love it. Absolutely love it. They love it more than they love winning trophies. Anybody who's any good at Roma, they're always like, really good, how can we sell him? You know, let's get him sold. Romagnoli, Marquinhos.
Emerson as well, obviously. He's been linked to Chelsea.
They absolutely love selling players.
Emerson, I guess Conte's used as a left-back option because he failed. Well, Chelsea failed with their bid for Alexis.
But he hasn't played. He's had a cruciate all season. And Kolarov has been pretty decent for Roma. So I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Emerson, but you know, he's not starting for them due to injury, and you know, if they want to get him in and have him play will he be able to play Champions League? I don't know if he's played Champions League for them. He's been injured.
No, Dzeko definitely won't be able to.
No, Dzeko wouldn't. Well, he destroyed Chelsea in the Champions League, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
But Dzeko is, for me, I don't understand why Man City got rid of him.
Yeah, it did seem a bit of a weird one, didn't it?
Yeah, and he would be a great option.
He's really shone in Italy, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a terrific striker, and not only as a finisher, but also as an all-round forward. He's a very diligent player, as Dzeko. Does exactly what he's asked. Really strong personality on the field as well. Yeah. He would be a coup for any club. 12
goals in 27 games this season.
And he had a huge goal-scoring season last year as well. Yeah. Maybe not so many this year. I'm not sure. He'd be thereabouts. Yeah. Was it not Higuain? Higuain's always top scorer. But
you have to look that up.
Yeah, he's Dzeko. He would be a coup for, like I say, for any club that could get hold of him.
We're going to move on to Spain. One of our Goal Spain guys, Gorka Posada, he broke the news yesterday that Kepa, who's a Real Madrid target, is essentially going to be signing a new deal for Athletic. And then this morning, he signed it. So last night we got our La Liga correspondent, Ben Hayward, to give us his thoughts on Kepa.
So we're over halfway through January now, and it looks like Real Madrid are not going to sign anybody at all in the winter window. A move for Athletic Club goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga had been on the cards. The 23-year-old is out of contract at the end of the summer, but is set to sign a new deal now with the Basque club. So is that a blow for Real Madrid? I'm not so sure that it is. Coach Zinedine Zidane has long said that he doesn't want or need to sign a new goalkeeper for Real Madrid at this stage. He's happy with current number 1 Keylor Navas. Navas, of course, a popular figure not only with Zidane but also with his teammates and in the dressing room at Santiago Bernabeu as well. And I think Real Madrid's problems this season, especially in La Liga, lay elsewhere. There have been problems with the attack, issues with scoring goals, lapses in defence as well. Perhaps a new goalkeeper at this stage, not what the club most needs. Zidane, for his part, has said that it's very, very difficult to sign top players in January, the kind of players who can come in and improve the squad. He's happy to reassess, to wait until the end of the season. He knows that the top players become available in the summer, and he's happy to wait until then. A new goalkeeper at this stage some way down on his list of priorities.
Kepa's an interesting goalkeeper. I've spoken to a few people in and around the situation in Spain, and they weren't really sure whether he was high quality enough for Real Madrid. And I know Madrid have had this policy of buying sort of really promising, developing young Spanish talent over the last while. If you look, they've brought in Ceballos in the midfield, Theo Hernandez. Obviously, Asensio has excelled himself, really. That's sort of been their transfer model over the last couple of seasons. Can you say it's worked, considering, well, they've won 2 Champions Leagues, but the league position, I mean, they're not really anywhere, are they?
They're completely adrift now, aren't they?
Yeah, but
there's no chance.
But I do agree with you there, Miles, in saying that this could create a problem, a headache for Man United in the summer.
De Gea.
Yeah.
I think Courtois seems... The De Gea talks died down in the last couple of years. Maybe they'll just go back in and try and sweep him back off the Man United's feet, but it seems like Courtois is a more precarious situation, essentially, because he needs to sign a new Chelsea contract.
Yeah, he's still to sign a new Chelsea contract, and we know there's I believe his family is still living in Madrid from his time at Atletico, so there's he still has loads of connections he has those ties there, those family ties there, so it could happen is Courtois, and plus Real Madrid is such a draw for everybody. People get money and they get contracts everywhere, but I think when you're a player and Real Madrid give you the call, unless you're a diehard.
Well, you look at what
I was going to say unless you're a diehard Barcelona guy, but then Figo went, so it doesn't really matter. Everybody wants to play for Real Madrid. Everybody. So it's very hard to resist the call, and if they choose whatever goalkeeper they choose in the summer, whether it's Courtois or De Gea, and it's going to be very, very hard for any club to keep hold of them.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about Real Madrid. Obviously, at the weekend they destroyed Deportivo. I believe it was 7-1.
Yeah.
Gareth Bale started in that match.
Cristiano scored the big goals again.
Well, let's talk about both of those guys essentially.
Yeah.
So Gareth Bale, he's been linked for a while now with a link back to the Premier League, but obviously man of the match of the weekend. Do you think there is a future for him at Real?
No, long term I don't think there is. No, I don't. The fans have been on his back for a long time, and he's only played about 50% of the minutes since he's gone to Real Madrid.
But still top scorer in La Liga this season.
Well, their top scorer. I mean, that's like been sexiest man in the phone box. Top scorer for Real Madrid this year.
Yeah.
But Bale is. I think he's done really well. He's won 3 Champions Leagues with them. Scored big goals for them.
Copa del Rey final one stands out for me.
He's done really well, but I do think that the entire front line is in need of titivation this summer, and I think that Benzema, maybe even Bale this year could be they could be victims in that. Now,
what about Ronaldo?
Where could Bale go? I mean, you look at
Man United could have seen an option, but Alexis Sanchez seems to have
he could still go there. He could still go there in the summer. I think he'd be a good signing for them.
Bale, Alexis,
would Spurs
afford him?
Would Spurs swap Kane for Bale? Spurs fans out there,
Well, let us know.
Not,
even if he went back to Spurs, though, they'd have to completely tear up the
way they play, the wage structure.
The wage structure.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's where Bale's going to cause the complications because Florentino Perez loves him, and he's given him like 4 pay rises since he got there. Other boys are looking around going, "How's Bale got another new contract?" No, lads have been there for 10 years. Going, what's Bale getting another new contract for? Perez loves him.
And meanwhile, his teammate Ronaldo did the job at the weekend, got 2 goals.
Yeah, I saw him checking himself out on the camera phone to see if he's bleeding. Yeah.
He loves that.
He loves that,
checking himself on the camera.
But there's reports in Spain as well that there isn't enough money for a new contract, which is what they tell me at goal as well every time I ask for a pay rise. Sorry.
You and Ronaldo are in the same boat, aren't you?
Yeah. I just want to be paid my worth. Cristiano, I feel your pain, bro. Even though you earn in about 15 seconds what I earn in a year. But anyway. But they're saying that there isn't even enough money for a new Real Madrid contract, and I can understand Real Madrid's hesitancy in giving Cristiano a contract.
He is 31 now, 32?
Yeah, I mean you can take those 5 Ballon d'Ors, right? And football is a very harsh game because it's not about what you did yesterday. Now it's about what you can do for tomorrow. Now Cristiano's going to be 33 next month. His goal scoring output has not been good this year. He's not going to get the summer off to regenerate because he's going to rush it to play in the World Cup. So Real Madrid might be looking at this long term and going, can we get 95, 100 million for him this summer and get him out the door, or do we shackle ourselves to another contract? He's already tied to them till he's 36. Do we improve those terms of his deal without any guarantee of the performance being given back to us? Now it's different with Messi. He wants parity with Messi. We understand that because he considers himself within that Messi bracket.
He thinks he's the best player ever, obviously.
Yeah, of course he thinks he's the best player ever. But the problem there is that Messi has been able to rejuvenate himself so many times. You know, this is probably Messi 3.0, not Messi 2.0.
Yeah.
Whereas we're still on sort of the first edition of Cristiano. You know, but Messi can adapt his game and become just as effective. You know,
but Ronaldo,
the Messi that's around now has more in common probably with Xavi in terms of where they play and how they play than it does, you know, to what Messi was 10 years ago. You know, so you can see the evolution in his game, and Cristiano hasn't evolved. And Real Madrid, I think, are right to be hesitant about offering him that new deal.
We say Ronaldo hasn't evolved, but what he has done is confound critics who've said his time is done, he's over the hill,
he's
jumped the shark, then he's in there. So he's got the Champions League to prove that point, and that'll be where he really either makes his point of saying, I'm still the best in the world, I still deserve to be paid as much as Messi, more than Messi, whatever he wants.
But then it depends if Real Madrid want to evolve their style of play.
It does.
You know, because you know you can only exist for so long servicing Cristiano Ronaldo as your sort of your default mode of play. And,
and that's where
if he's not scoring, Neymar, Neymar, man, Neymar.
That'll be the big summer transfer.
Do you know what, I know
we're talking about that all summer.
This is a transfer show, but you know what really annoys me, right? So he comes back from injury, scores 4 against the mighty Dijon, including taking a penalty off Edison Cavani.
And he looked miserable all the way through.
All the way through. And then he can't play against Lyon because he's hurt his thigh in the game against Dijon. And then they lose against Lyon. Now, if you're the manager, or if you're Neymar himself, and you've got 2 games coming up in the week, one at home against Dijon,
who you know you're going to tear apart, and they did tear
or
apart. Or
Lyon away. You know, what one would you aim for? I really just don't understand what's going on there.
Is that Emery just pandering to him, or do you think that's Neymar just pulling out? I mean,
Who
it's hard
knows?
to tell, isn't it?
I think, you know, me and you would do a decent job up front for PSG against Dijon. You know, we'd probably get a couple each. I'd be like that.
I think you look happier than Neymar, definitely. You look miserable.
But, you know, I don't understand it. And they were in a huge spot of bother last night, weren't they? I mean, Mbappe, as we said, was absolutely smashed up. You know,
Fekir did a great job.
Neymar wasn't there. You know, they really could have done with him last night. You know, that's where he needs to earn, you know, whatever money he's on.
Against one of the 3 teams in the league who PSG might actually.
That's it. I mean, what they've got Marseille away, they've got Lyon away, and Monaco away, and they're probably the most difficult games. And he's absented himself from that game by playing against Dijon.
Wasn't he banned again in the game against Nice as well? He's missed some big games actually this season.
That's it, yeah. And this is going to be the problem for PSG. You know, I watched that game last night and I thought, you know, originally I thought PSG are going to have too much for Real Madrid in the Champions League, but I just think they've been coasting for so long that when they do get a challenge, you know, I think they find it difficult to raise their level. And you know, Thiago Motta's not playing for them, and he's the guy that really gets them going when they have to dig in. Yeah. But you're looking around, and is Verratti going to pull them out of a hole like that? Is Thiago Silva? No, they're not. And then when you've got Neymar, you know, not even playing, then you know it's going to cause them some trouble.
He's essentially sending in a sick note, isn't he?
Sick note, and you know, so
sick note Neymar. Yeah, I mean,
before long, people are going to get sick of this situation before long at PSG. I think they're going to have a look maybe and go, you know
if he pulls out of a Champions League game, that'll be where people will be saying, you know, what's going on.
Oh, he managed to play against Celtic. He got a hat-trick there as well. You know,
the easy games.
He played against Bayern that time.
The ones he can walk through.
Or was it his sister's birthday? He couldn't go.
Going to read out some user comments now. Thanks to those of you who got involved with us on Facebook. We've got here one from Ali Mohammed saying Ozil is happy in London, should stay if Arsenal offer him more money. They cannot lose him as well.
Yeah, I saw him. He was on the tube yesterday. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
I was looking at little Twitter moments last night, and Arsenal was like, "Oh, I'm doing the tourist thing in London," and he was just like on the London Underground in Hampstead.
God, imagine if you were an Arsenal fan, you saw
it. You know,
what a dream that would be.
That's it, yeah. But you know, he was having a look at how also ordinary people live. You know, he's like, look at all these people on their little underground trains. Isn't it amazing?
He's used to getting a helicopter and a limo.
Yeah.
Chauffeur.
It's like you used to say. Will I even tell you this story?
Go on.
No, you're going to bother. Go on.
Some more user comments here. We've got one from Colin saying Chelsea should also sign Mahrez. 2, because he will be a good signing for Chelsea, playing alongside Eden Hazard. I swear we get a Mahrez comment every day.
Mahrez is great.
All the Chelsea fans are saying we should sign Mahrez. It does seem like a bit of a no-brainer. Nana said 44 million for both Dzeko and Emerson. That's not bad, is it? 44 million. That's what's being
great deal, yeah. I mean, Dzeko's 31, but he's looked after himself. You know, he's in great shape.
Yeah.
And Emerson, unknown quantity because he's been injured for so long. You know, to pay. What would you say? That 30 million of that would be for Dzeko in market value.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's hard to differentiate.
If Chelsea could get Dzeko, I think it's a great deal.
Yeah. Fada Brody said Sanchez has played his best football at Arsenal already.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Man United have got themselves a player that's over the hill essentially, paying a record wages essentially for a player that might be past his best.
I think he's in his peak rather than past his peak. I think he's currently in his peak. But I think he had his first games as a teenager when he's about like 15 or 16 years old, and he's an intense player. He runs hard every game.
Oh, yeah.
So he's been playing like that for 12, 13 years. You'd wonder what sort of longevity he has left in his
He will
legs.
at least get the summer off.
But it doesn't matter to Man United. Man United are just like make.
Alright, thanks very much for those of you who've joined us today. We'll be back again tomorrow at the same time to be talking about what else progresses in the January transfer window. Thanks for joining me, Pete.
You're very, very welcome, Miles.
Cheers.